Ladies and gentlemen, let's get one thing straight. You are not here to be small. You are not here to make yourself more palatable for other people. You are not here to shrink so that others feel more comfortable around you. You are here to be strong. You are here to be bold. You are here to take up space, to build a life that excites you, and to refuse to let fear, insecurity, or the opinions of others hold you back. I know society has conditioned so many women to believe that being soft means being kind, agreeable, and likable. That being strong is somehow unattractive. That fearlessness is too much. But let me ask you this. Who benefits when you doubt yourself? Who benefits when you play small? Certainly not you. If you want to transform your life, you have to stop waiting for approval. You have to stop apologizing for having an opinion, for speaking up, for wanting more. Because let me tell you, something life does not reward hesitation. Life rewards action. Life rewards the woman who refuses to be overlooked, who refuses to settle, who refuses to stay silent when she has something to say. Strength is not about being aggressive or cold. It's about knowing your worth. It's about recognizing that you don't have to put up with toxic relationships, soul-sucking jobs, or situations that drain you. It's about walking away from things that don't align with your values, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it means being alone for a while, even if it means starting over. Fearlessness, that's something you build. Nobody is born fearless. Confidence isn't something some women just have. It's something they create by taking action despite the fear. Every time you make a decision for you, every time you stand up for yourself, every time you refuse to let fear dictate your choices, you build confidence. You show yourself that you are capable, that you are strong, that you don't need permission to take up space in this world. And let's talk about boundaries, because if you don't have them, you will always feel exhausted, resentful, and unseen. Stop apologizing for having standards. Stop feeling guilty for saying no. The moment you start enforcing boundaries, the people who truly respect you will support them. And the ones who don't, they were never meant to be in your life long term. Strength isn't just about how you show up in public. It's about how you show up for yourself. It's about having discipline. It's about making the hard choices now so that your future self can thrive. It's about choosing growth over comfort. It's about learning that the most powerful thing you can do as a woman is to take control of your own life, your own happiness, and your own success. So here's your challenge to stop waiting, stop hesitating, stop letting fear run your life. Stand up, speak up, and show up as the strong, fearless woman you were always meant to be. The world doesn't need you to be soft. It needs you to be unstoppable. Strength is not about how loud you are, how much you can endure, how many battles you fight. Strength is about knowing who you are and refusing to settle for anything less than what you deserve. It's about understanding your worth so deeply that you never feel the need to beg for love, validation, or respect. It's about making decisions that align with your values, not decisions that make other people comfortable. Too many women have been conditioned to think that being strong means being unbreakable, that it means putting up with toxic relationships, bad jobs, and unfair treatment just to prove they can handle it. But real strength isn't about enduring pain. It's about walking away from what doesn't serve you. It's about recognizing that just because you can tolerate something doesn't mean you should. You don't owe anyone your patience when they repeatedly disrespect you. You don't owe anyone your silence when something feels wrong. The truth is, when you know your worth, you stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You stop chasing people who don't make an effort to stay in your life. You stop lowering your standards just to fit into places that were never meant for you. Because a strong woman doesn't beg. A strong woman doesn't need to convince anyone of her value. She stands firm in who she is and lets her actions speak for her. Think about the times in your life when you settled, when you accepted less than you deserved because you didn't want to be difficult, or because you thought things would get better, or because you were afraid of being alone. How did that make you feel? I guarantee that every time you settled, a part of you knew you were betraying yourself. You knew you were giving more than you were receiving. You knew you were tolerating things that didn't sit right with you. Now, think about the times when you didn't settle, when you walked away from a situation that was draining you, when you enforced a boundary even though it was uncomfortable, when you stood up for yourself even when your voice was shaking. Didn't that feel right? Didn't that feel powerful? That's because every time you choose yourself, every time you honor your worth, You reinforce to yourself that you are strong. Being strong doesn't mean you have to fight every battle. It doesn't mean you have to be harsh or unapproachable. It means you have a deep understanding of your value, and because of that, you are selective about who and what you allow into your life. It means you don't engage in pointless arguments. It means you don't chase people or opportunities that aren't meant for you. It means you trust yourself enough to walk away from anything that doesn't align with your vision for your life. And the best part, the moment you start living this way, the right people, the right opportunities, and the right circumstances will naturally align with you. Because when you stand in your power, you attract what is meant for you. And when you refuse to settle, life rewards you with exactly what you deserve. Fearlessness isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. It's not a magical trait that only a select few have. It's a muscle, and like any muscle, it grows when you push yourself past your limits. Confidence doesn't appear out of nowhere. It's built through action, through facing your fears, through proving to yourself over and over again that you can handle whatever life throws your way. Most people think that confidence comes first and then action follows. That's wrong. Confidence follows action. If you sit around waiting until you feel ready, you'll be waiting forever. The truth is, you'll never feel completely ready to take risks, to go after what you want, to stand up for yourself. Fear is always going to be there. But fearlessness isn't about getting rid of fear, it's about acting despite it. It's about refusing to let fear make decisions for you. The problem is that most people hesitate. They overthink. They analyze every possible outcome until they talk themselves out of taking action. They let doubt creep in, and suddenly that opportunity, that decision, that big move feels impossible. But here's what you need to understand. Your brain is designed to protect you, not to push you. It's wired for survival, which means it will always look for the safest option. It will always try to keep you in your comfort zone because that's where it feels secure. But comfort zones don't lead to growth. Nothing exciting happens there. If you want to become fearless, you have to take action before you feel ready. You have to start before you have all the answers. You have to stop waiting for confidence and start creating it. And the way you do that is by proving to yourself over and over again that you are capable. Think about the times in your life when you took a leap before you were ready. Maybe you said yes to an opportunity even though it scared you. Maybe you spoke up for yourself when you felt intimidated. Maybe you tried something new and realized it wasn't as terrifying as you thought. Those moments weren't comfortable, but they built you. They shaped you into someone who knows she can handle fear, uncertainty, and doubt. The more you take action despite fear, the more fearless you become. It's a cycle. Every time you push yourself, you gain proof that you are stronger than you thought. You create evidence that you can handle risk, and once you start collecting enough of that evidence, fear loses its power over you. Because suddenly you have proof that you can handle the hard things. You can face challenges. You can go after what you want. But none of that happens if you hesitate. None of that happens if you wait until you feel confident. None of that happens if you let fear win. So if you want to become fearless, start taking action before you feel ready. Start proving to yourself every single day that you are capable. Stop waiting. Stop overthinking. Stop letting fear control your choices. Because the only way to become fearless is to act like you already are. Boundaries are not just rules you set for other people. They are a declaration of what you will and will not tolerate in your life. They are a reflection of how much you respect yourself. The reason so many women struggle with boundaries is because we've been conditioned to believe that saying no makes us difficult. That standing up for ourselves makes us unlikable. That having standards makes us demanding. But let me tell you, something having boundaries doesn't make you unkind, it makes you strong. Without boundaries, you will always feel drained. You will always feel like you're giving more than you're getting. You will always feel like people take advantage of you. And the truth is they will, because people will take as much as you allow them to. Not everyone has bad intentions, but if you don't enforce your boundaries, people will push them. They will expect you to say yes to things you don't want to do. They will assume you're okay with being treated a certain way. And unless you make it clear that you're not, nothing will change. The hardest part about setting boundaries is that some people won't like them. The people who benefited from your lack of boundaries will be the first ones to get upset when you start enforcing them. That's not a sign that you should back down. That's a sign that your boundaries are working. If someone gets angry because you said no, it means they were never really respecting you to begin with. It means They were comfortable with taking from you, but uncomfortable with giving the same in return. And those are exactly the people you need boundaries with. Think about Itho. Many times have you said yes when you wanted to say no? How many times have you felt obligated to do something just because you didn't want to disappoint someone? How many times have you put someone else's comfort above your own? That ends today. Because every time you say yes to something you don't want, you are saying no to yourself. Every time you allow someone to cross a line without consequences, you are teaching them that it's okay to do it again. Boundaries are your superpower. They are what protect your energy, your peace, and your self-worth. And the best part? Once you start setting them, once you start respecting yourself enough to say no without guilt, you realize that the right people will honor your boundaries. They won't get angry. They won't guilt trip you. They will respect you even more because they see that you respect yourself. But boundaries don't just apply to relationships with others. They apply to the relationship you have with yourself. If you constantly let yourself break promises to yourself, if you allow yourself to procrastinate, if you tolerate your own excuses, you are crossing your own boundaries. You need to hold yourself accountable just as much as you hold others accountable. Setting boundaries is not about being selfish. It's about choosing yourself. It's about making sure that your time, your energy, and your peace are protected. And the more you do it, the more you realize that you never needed to apologize for having standards. The only people who will be upset by your boundaries are the ones who benefited from your lack of them. And if that means losing a few people along the way, so be it. Because the ones who truly respect you, they'll respect your boundaries too. Pain is one of life's greatest teachers. It's uncomfortable, it's exhausting, and sometimes it feels unfair. But if you look closely, pain is also the thing that wakes you up. It forces you to grow, to adapt, and to change. Every single time you've experienced deep pain, something inside of you shifted. You became wiser. You became stronger. You learned something about yourself that you didn't know before. The problem is that most people run from pain. They numb it, avoid it, or pretend it doesn't exist. They stay in situations that are breaking them just because they're afraid of the unknown. They tolerate disrespect, unhappiness, and mistreatment because the fear of walking away feels greater than the pain of staying. But here's the truth: pain is not meant to be your prison. It's meant to be your signal, a signal that something isn't right, a signal that something needs to change. Think about the times in your life when pain forced you to make a decision. Maybe you finally left a toxic relationship. Maybe you quit a job that was draining you. Maybe you walked away from people who were no longer good for you. Would you have made those decisions if you hadn't felt pain? Probably not. Because as humans, we don't change when we're comfortable. We change when staying the same becomes more painful than evolving. Pain will push you to your next level if you let it. But too many people stay stuck in their suffering because they focus on the wrong thing. They focus on the unfairness of it all, the heartbreak, the struggle. They let pain define them instead of refine them. But pain is not the enemy. Pain is the wake-up call. Pain is your body, your soul, your mind telling you that it's time for something new. So instead of running from it, lean into it. Ask yourself, what is this pain trying to teach me? What is it showing me about myself? Maybe it's showing you that you've been ignoring red flags. Maybe it's showing you that you've been settling for less than you deserve. Maybe it's showing you that you need to start choosing yourself, even when it's hard. When you stop resisting pain and start learning from it, everything changes. You stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as someone who is growing. You stop seeing pain as something happening to you and start seeing it as something happening for you. Because on the other side of pain is transformation. On the other side of pain is strength you didn't know you had. On the other side of pain is a version of you that is unstoppable. And the best part, the moment you start embracing pain as a teacher, you stop fearing it. You realize that pain is temporary, but the wisdom and strength it gives you will last forever. You realize that every challenge, every setback, every heartbreak was shaping you into the person you were meant to be. So don't run from pain. Don't numb it. Don't avoid it. Let it teach you. Let it guide you. Let it turn you into the strongest, boldest, most fearless version of yourself. Because pain is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of your breakthrough. Self-respect is the foundation of everything. It determines the way you allow others to treat you, the way you talk to yourself, and the standards you set for your life. The problem is, too many people wait for others to respect them before they decide to respect themselves. They look for external validation, approval, and acceptance, thinking that once they receive it, then they'll finally feel worthy. But that's not how it works. Respect starts with you. If you don't respect yourself, no one else will. If you tolerate disrespect, if you allow people to cross your boundaries, if you constantly put yourself last, you're sending a message to yourself and to everyone around you that you don't see your own worth. And when you don't see it, other people won't either. Self-respect is about knowing your value so deeply that you refuse to entertain anything less than what you deserve. It's about being willing to walk away from situations, relationships, and environments that don't align with your worth. It's about understanding that you don't have to prove yourself to anyone. You don't have to beg for love. You don't have to chase people who make you feel small. You don't have to overextend yourself just to be liked. The way you treat yourself sets the standard for how others treat you. If you constantly talk down to yourself, if you belittle your accomplishments, if you settle for less because you're afraid to ask for more, people will reflect that back to you. They will treat you the way you treat yourself. But when you hold yourself with respect, when you speak to yourself with kindness, when you carry yourself with confidence, people will take notice. They will either rise to meet your standards or they will remove themselves from your life, and either way you win. Respecting yourself means making decisions that honor your well-being. It means not allowing guilt or obligation to keep you stuck in situations that drain you. It means recognizing that you are not responsible for managing everyone else's emotions at the cost of your own happiness. Too many women shrink themselves, dim their light, and put themselves second because they don't want to upset anyone. But what about you? What about your happiness? What about your needs? The more you practice self-respect, the stronger you become. You start making choices that align with your values, not choices that make other people comfortable. You stop over-explaining yourself. You stop seeking approval. You stop tolerating behaviors that make you feel unappreciated. You stop accepting bare minimum effort from people who expect maximum loyalty from you. And here's the truth. People will notice the shift. Some will respect you more, some will be inspired by you, and some will get uncomfortable because they can no longer take advantage of your kindness. That's okay. The right people will respect your boundaries. The right people will appreciate your self-worth. The wrong people will fall away. And that's a blessing, not a loss. Self-respect is not arrogance. It's not selfishness. It's not about thinking you're better than anyone else. It's about recognizing that you are worthy just as you are and refusing to accept anything less than what you deserve. It's about knowing that the way you treat yourself is the example you set for the world. So hold your head high, set your boundaries, speak to yourself with kindness, stop chasing people who don't see your worth. The moment you start respecting yourself, your entire world will change because you won't be waiting for others to give you permission to be worthy. You will already know that you are.